Y'all know I wrote a book, right? It's called Buy a Game, and it's free. Click the link down there, you got it.
DreAllDay.com.
As we do this stream, today we talking about language. Sometimes people come to me and they be like, Dre, I read your blogs and I like what you're saying. Or, you know, I watched your videos and I like the stuff you be doing on YouTube, but, you know, sometimes you use foul language. Sometimes you use language that I can't really get with, or it'll be apparent. They'll be like, you know, I like your stuff, but I can't show it to my kids because you was cursing in the video. Or, you know, I saw my kids watching your video, but I had to make them stop watching it because you was cursing. Or I wanted to show this to the kids at my school because I coach a basketball team, but because of your language, I can't use it. Listen, this is what y'all gotta understand. That any audience that you talk to in life, any audience you talk to in business, when it's personal, whether you play a sport, whatever you do, you got to learn to speak the language of your audience. Now, sometimes people who are not part of that direct audience, the avatar, as some people say in marketing circles, they may come into your audience who are not really your target audience. That's not the right person, and they might have a problem with your language, or they might not understand your language is the better thing to say. A simple example of this would be this. Like, I'm an American, I don't speak any other languages. I understand a little bit of Spanish, but I don't speak any other language conversationally. So if I went to Japan and everybody was speaking Japanese, even if I had the most information about some business, service, or product, I'm not going to be able to sell any products. Why? Because I can't communicate what I'm doing because I can't speak their language. If I want to be able to communicate with those people, I got to speak the proper language. So sometimes people ask me, well, why you got to curse in your videos? Well, that's because I'm talking to people who understand that type of language. Y'all can understand that when you stand on the street corner with the guys from your neighborhood, there's a certain type of language that you use that's different from the language you use if you go into a boardroom and you got on a suit and tie and you giving a business presentation. It's two different types of conversations, even though in both conversations you're speaking English. Does that make sense to everybody? Even though you might be speaking the same language, it may be a different dialect that you got to speak depending on the audience that you're talking to. And if you was to go into a boardroom talking this street corner talk to the guys with suits on, these old Jewish guys with suits on, they're not going to understand anything you're saying. They're going to be looking at you crazy, even though what you're saying makes perfect sense and it will help their business, double their business in the next 3 years. They're not going to want to do it because your language doesn't jive with their language, and they like, nah, I don't know this guy, I don't like this guy, I don't trust this guy, I don't know what he's saying. They can't relate to you because you're not speaking their language, and they're not going to trust you because they can't understand the damn thing you're saying. At the same time, if you go hang with those guys for a while, you're in the boardroom, and you go to college and you hang with people who talk all proper, and then you go back to your hood and you start talking to the dudes from your neighborhood that you grew up with, and you talking all proper and right to them, they're going to be looking at you like you crazy. Like, yo, why are you talking like that? Why are you talking all proper? In my neighborhood, they'd be like, why are you talking like a white boy? That's what they would say. No offense to the white people, but y'all get the point that I'm saying. If people don't understand the language you're saying, they don't know, they're not going to listen to anything you're saying. They can hear it, but they're not listening if you're not speaking the right language. They don't like you because you're not speaking the language that they speak. They can't relate, and they're not going to trust you. If you're not speaking the language of somebody else, they're not going to trust anything that you're saying. What does all this mean for you? Whatever room you step into, you must learn the lingo. Learn the language that they speak. Learn the terms that they use. Learn the way that they talk. Speak at people's pace. Use people's body language. Look at people's eyes. Read body language. Read the non-verbal cues when you're talking to people to see if they're getting more comfortable, if they're getting less comfortable, if they're understanding, if they're not understanding. Because if you have great information, you got a great product. Information is a product. If you have a superb product, but you're not good at speaking the proper language when you're sharing that product, nobody's going to buy it, even though it's perfect. See, some of you right now may be in a situation where you're trying to break into a certain industry. You're trying to get more seen in a certain industry. You want more people to know your name in a certain industry, but your challenge might not be that you're not good. The challenge is not that you're not good for some of you. Some of you, the challenge is you aren't good. But for the people who are good, the challenge is not that you don't have the skills. It's not that you don't have the knowledge, the expertise, the experience, or you're not worthy of an opportunity. The challenge is you're not speaking the right language. You're not using the right words. You're not going through the right mediums. So therefore, you're not getting through to the right person. And if you are getting through to the right person, you're not communicating with them the right way in a language that they understand, in the dialect they understand, in the tone that they understand. Therefore, they're not getting your message. Even though they're hearing it, they're not listening to it. Even though they're seeing it, they're not understanding it. So you got to make sure that you talk the proper language when you talk to people. For instance, when I was playing basketball, there was a certain language. When I was talking to players, there was a certain way I talked to them. When I talked to a coach or a manager of a team that's overseas and English is their second language, there's a different type of conversation I got to have with them. And nowadays, when I'm talking to a business owner about becoming my client, that's a different type of way that I'm speaking. When I'm talking to someone who's running a conference that I may go speak at and give a speech at about social media, about branding, marketing, confidence, or be a quote-unquote motivational speaker, is a different type of conversation when I'm talking to the principal of a high school than when I'm talking to some 19-year-old coming out of college and he wants to go play ball overseas. Even though I'm speaking English in every single one of those situations, is a different type of conversation because I'm speaking to a different audience. Everybody understand what I'm saying here? If anybody got any questions about this, I'll take the questions. We're talking about speaking the right language, the right dialects. My name is Dre Baldwin. Many know me as Dre all day. Background as a professional athlete. As I mentioned, I played ball overseas for 7 years. I'm now author of 7 books, publisher of 4,000 plus YouTube videos, 4,000 plus blog posts, 400 live streams here on Periscope. I am a coach and consultant. I do a ton of writing. I do a ton of video recording. And I get on the phone and make things happen. So the things that I focus on when you watch this Periscope stream or this channel, whatever you want to call this, the mental game, number 1, selling yourself, number 2, and making things happen in your life instead of having things happen to you, number 3. Those are the 3 things that I focus on. So if any of those are areas that you want to get better at or you're interested at, maybe you got some ideas you want to share, this is the place that you need to be. Make sure you are following me here on Periscope. And oh yeah, if you want to read my first book, it's called Buy a Game. I'll give it to you for free. Just click the link here in my Periscope bio and you can read it immediately. And if any of y'all send out a tweet with my name in it at Dre All Day, just tweet out the link to this stream. I'll make sure I retweet you. Everybody, my name's Dre All Day. I'm gonna holler at y'all later. Work on your game. Make sure you get my first book, Buy a Game. It is free. Click the link right here below in the video description. I'm on all your favorite social media platforms: Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Periscope. All the links are right down here below. Is either Dre Baldwin or Dre All Day on each one of those sites. And make sure you are subscribed. Hit that subscribe button down there and the thumbs up like button. Subscribe so you catch all the new content. I work on your game. Dre All Day.